What's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, here to do a special show, which I normally don't do Fridays at 1, so I don't know how many of you are going to show up live, but we'll see. And of course, if you're not here, then you're checking out the replay. Figured start just a couple minutes early, just to get on and see if anyone stops by. I will be doing this interview solo. Unfortunately, Echo can't make it. I'll let him explain why later, but hope everything's good with his family and just keep them in your thoughts. So we got a couple minutes until Michael Bonini comes on from Bad CGI Gator, which was a full moon production. So that's what he worked on most recently. And we will be going into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, then, and don't like spoilers, don't don't watch. But we will be discussing his career, other projects that he's done. He's been on TV shows such as The Blacklist, FBI, a bunch of other productions, and we'll talk about that as well. Let's see. I've just been keeping busy. So things are better now. I ended up moving, but it's been crazy. So that's all about I've been up to that, and going to be going to Texas in a couple of weeks, and that's about it. So keeping busy. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Oh, tomorrow I will have Kansas Bowling from Murder Size will be on, and hopefully Echo will be able to make it tomorrow. We'll see. If not, I will be joined by Greta Volkova as well as a co-host. And it looks like our guest is here. Hello, hello.
Hey, Steven, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
So how's your week been?
It's been quite lovely. I'm actually down in Florida right now, so I'm getting out of the New York City snow.
Cool.
So it's nice.
Yeah, welcome on, Echo the Woods. Yeah, I'm in Florida too.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. You're in Tallahassee, right?
Yeah. So are you in South or Central? You don't have to say where exactly, but like.
No, I'm in Southeast Florida near Miami.
Oh, okay, cool. I got some friends in Miami. Actually, the daughter moved to Nashville, but I used to go down to Miami all the time. So, excuse me. I've been coughing again lately. I was sick a few weeks ago, and I finally got over it. And then just the other night, I started having that little cough, like lingering on.
Happens to the best of us, baby. It's that time of year.
Unfortunately, yeah, everybody's been like everybody at work. I think since after the New Year hit, like people seeing
really.
So, but yeah, I went ahead and I watched Bad CGI Gator. I got a projector, watched it on the big screen like a movie theater.
Awesome. Boy, man, that's exactly how you need to watch it. Especially with that huge alligator.
That's such a great gator. It lives up to its title, but that's what makes it so much fun, though.
It's a lot better than I thought it would be. From reading the script and obviously like the title, I was like, oh, it's going to be horrible. But I'm like, it's not so bad.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not realistic, but it sells.
Well, you got to remember, there's a little disclaimer at the end. If any actual events is coincidental,
right.
True events.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was saying, we'll probably get into spoilers of that. So if anybody hasn't seen it or doesn't want to hear any spoilers, but before we go into that, though, let's talk a little bit about you, where you're from, and what got you into acting. Who's your inspiration?
Oh wow, great question. Yeah, starting off hot. I grew up in a small town outside of Washington D.C. in Northern Virginia. Went to. Am I still
sorry.
there? I'm still here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, wow. I was like, I'm boring you already.
That's it. That's the interview, folks. That's it.
Thanks exactly. Go see Bad CGI Gator.
Bad CGI Gator, bad interview.
Yeah, Bad CGI Gator, worst interview.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, Yeah, so I grew up outside of Washington, D.C., a few hours south of New York. I went to a private school called Bishop O'Connell where I kind of fell into theater. And that was kind of the onset of my journey as an actor. You know, when I was really young, I always wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be James Bond, you know, but I wasn't really sure how anyone does that, especially because, you know, I didn't grow up in New York or LA or in an acting hub. My family, I don't come from a long line of actors or directors or producers. Like my parents, like business people.
Mhm.
So it was always kind of a pipe dream. And then when I was in high school, I was on the football team. And one day after practice or before practice, my buddy and I, Tyler Fritz, shout out, buddy, miss you, stumbled into the auditorium where there were auditions going on for a show called It's a Wonderful Life.
Mhm.
I'm sure you heard of it. It's a Christmas musical. And we went in there and we weren't trying to audition, but the drama teacher, the director, saw us in the back and said, "Hey, you two boys, get up here on stage." And she pulled us down and made us audition. We were like, "No, we don't want to do this." We end up getting the leads in this play. I played Clarence the Angel. He played George Bailey, and that was the beginning of like, okay, this is awesome. You know, it was the stage, it was a musical, it was very exciting, live. And from that point on, I was like, okay, like I can do this. And then I ended up going to school in South Carolina. I went to Clemson University where I majored in theater, did a bunch of shows there. And then after that, I just hightailed it up to New York, got my agent, and this all makes it sound much easier than it all has been. But yeah, got the agent and started auditioning, and then, you know, next thing you know, you're on Bad CGI Gator, the God's gift to cinema.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
um, so I saw you got a whole list of short films and everything, which I have to ask you where I can find some of them.
Mhm.
But was that after high school? You went into college. What was your first short film, or how did you get
Oh
into that?
wow, yeah, that's a great question. So I hadn't stepped foot in front of a camera until I moved to New York. So I'd spent my high school career, my college career, doing a bunch of theater, musicals, straight plays, um, you know, live stuff, and then I moved to New York, and then this is the first short I ever did was a short film called Groundsman. It was back in like 2016, I think, like almost 10 years ago, and maybe 2015, I don't know. And I remember the original deal was they were going to pay me $75 a day for 3 days, and I was ecstatic. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm making money as an actor!" And I remember once we started shooting, they like didn't have any money, so they're like, "Oh, can we actually pay you $50 a day?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I'll do it for free." Um,
I take that back. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
No,
right. Well, now I'm like, ugh, $50. But I remember I went in to do the audition. It wasn't an NYU film, but for some reason the auditions were at NYU. They like rented a studio there, and I go in. I introduce myself, and I was like, "Yep, Michael, ready to go." And they said, "Okay, start whenever you want." And I had never gotten a script or sides or anything, and so I was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't. Is there something like? Do you want me to do a monologue?" And they were like, "Oh, you didn't get the script?" And I said, "No." And so they looked in their emails and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like we thought we were gonna send you. We were supposed to send you the script. We didn't attach it." And so they like gave it to me there, and they're like, "Do you want to go outside and prep it?" And I was like so nervous. I was like, "It's okay. I'll just look at it real quick." And I read it for them, and then I ended up getting the part, and I was so excited. And it was a little short film about two brothers who break into this old mansion to steal something for their mom for Mother's Day because they're broke. And then the owner of the mansion ends up being this wealthy dude that was the reason their father died in a coal mine years ago, and they want revenge now. And you know, it was quite the drama, and it was a blast. And that was the first short film I've ever done. I had a website for a while, and I don't know what happened to it. I need to figure that out. And I had all my short films and all my feature films on it, and that was a great place for people to go and watch my material. because especially starting out, everyone's always like, "Oh, how do I see your stuff?" Um, but I got to figure out how to get that back up because something I think it got hacked and I need to
Mm,
fix it.
mm.
So yeah,
Bad CGI hacker, like whatever.
yeah, it was a bad website hacker.
Mm,
But yeah, so that was the first short film.
mm. So, do you think doing the short films before doing any motion pictures was a better experience? And do you recommend that for upcoming actors?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, as you saw my MD, I probably have done like 30 short films, and I would say that a handful of short films that I did aren't even on my IMDb. You know, they never got put up. But it's so important to get that on-set experience and just have a chance to like play at like a in a low stakes situation, right? I mean, it feels high stakes because you're learning and you want it to be good. Um, but I mean, yeah, I did dozens and dozens, and I'm still doing short films. And it's just you need that practice, and you don't get that in any acting school. You don't get that in college. You don't get that doing a scene study. Like all those things are good, working with an acting coach, being in class, but until you're in front of the camera doing the thing, you're not gonna build up those muscles. You're not gonna get that just experience that's gonna be the foundation of your work. So yeah, I couldn't recommend more, even if it's not paid, even if it's like doesn't seem like a good script. You just have to like get that, at times at bat swinging, and that's going to build your craft, build your muscles, and it's been instrumental in my career.
Mhm. Um, is there any challenging experiences during any of the set or something that
Ah, Steven, how
I
long
know,
you got?
I know the best one that sticks out in mind? Like what?
Oh my God, so many. And I just have to rack my brain and pick one. I need to like look at my IMDb and I could just go down the list.
I actually got it. I
Um,
actually got it back. The IMDb Pro, I got it up. See, there's a few things post production. I'll mention later,
oh
but
my
let's
God.
see.
I'm sure
Chicago.
I had, okay. Oh yeah, that one. Oh my gosh. No, I had one movie where this was early on. I won't say the name, but if you know anything about making movies, is it's different from theater in that you know your audience, your perspective can be from anywhere. It's not a proscenium. It's not like we're just looking in one direction. You get what's called coverage. You're shooting this way and that way and a wide and inserts, and you can get it everywhere. And remember I was doing this movie and we are shooting the scene with like 6 or 7 people, and it's like a scene that takes place in like a living room, and it's this group of people having a conversation. And I remember the director kept trying to put us all on the couch in a line facing one way so she could see us all on the wide. And I just remember saying, like, so and so, like, we don't have to be. And it wasn't like an artistic choice. It was just like, and I just remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, how do I get out of this thing? Because this is going to be like the worst thing ever. But yeah, so that was bizarre. And but those are the experiences that you have to do to learn in order to I don't know. Like I never would have figured that out if I wasn't there to see it happening and see how it doesn't work. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that was kind of bizarre.
yeah. From the couple, I've learned a few things too.
Yeah.
So when you read a script about your character, do you have any process, or how do you prepare for a certain role?
Yeah, that's another good question. These are all Steven, you're killing it with these questions. Um, so I really try and find where like what Michael can bring to the role in terms of like, you have this character and you're looking at it and you're trying to find the humanity in it. And what I try and do is just like we're all uniquely individual, right? Like no one is Steven. I can't play Steven, and you can't play Michael. We can try, but you'll never. Everyone has that individuality, that uniqueness to them. So I really try and just see how I can mesh the two characters. It's like, no, I've never robbed a bank. but I have been in desperate situations. So, you know, if I'm playing someone that robs a bank, I'm just like seeing how far I can bring me to it and how much I can bring the character to me. And it's like this, I don't know, symbiotic relationship of two people coming together to make one thing. There's a lot of actory wordy things, but that's kind of the process. And then I just read it a lot. I read it a lot. I just read the script as many times as I can, because every time you read it, you're seeing a new thing, and stuff pops out of you. Or I'll like give it to my girlfriend and I'll be like, "You read this. Tell me what you see, because I know you're going to see things that I don't see." Um, and yeah, and then I rely a lot on the day, because as much prep as you do, like you read it, you prep it, you memorize, you build the world. You might get the set, and the actor that you're working with or actress is like giving you something totally different than what you thought, and you have to be open enough and ready to respond and be there for it. I mean, for instance, for Bad CGI Gator, I didn't picture anyone like when I was reading the script, like who they were, except maybe Ben, the guy who played Chad,
Yeah.
and who is a great friend of mine now. Like we stay in touch, and same with Cooper.
You're
I
all
actually
bros now,
read.
right?
We're all bros. We're all bros. You know, I actually read for Chad first, uh, and then the casting director Jessica Hughes, who's lovely, reached out to me and asked if I would read for Sam, and then I read for Sam, and they were like, "You play the little nerdy guy," and but yeah, so that's kind of the process, just reading it, trying to bring myself to it, and then being open and working with the actors.
Since you've done theater, short films, television, of course, full length, I can talk full length movies. Is there one that you prefer doing the most?
um I think every medium has its benefits. I love shorts because there's so much room for like personal creativity. You know, it's quick and it's hot and it's fast, and you can just do it and then be done with it. Um, I love features because you're building this family, right? You might be there for months, and you're building this family. And oh, hold on one second, sorry.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. He'll be back, people.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm in a public area that I shouldn't be in right now. So features, you're like building this family and you're there for a long time, and you really have a chance to like dive into the character and you know, just really explore more. And then I love television because because people get to see it. You know, like it's gonna where sometimes shorts, like you're saying, like where can I see these shorts? They'll go to a festival and then they fizzle out. And you're like, where the hell is it? Is it on YouTube? Is it on Amazon?
Right.
And then features, same thing. Like, I mean, I've done big movies and sometimes they get shelved or it's years before they come out. Where TV, it's like you shoot it and then 9 times out of 10, between 6 and 8 weeks, it's going to be in your living room, which is very nice because you're getting to share your work and your art with the world and with your family and your friends, and so that's the benefit of that. Now, theater, it's been years since I've done theater. Theater was like the base of my like the foundation of my career starting, and I miss it. And I think the obvious answer to that most actors would say is the excitement of doing live theater. There's nothing like it. You know, the audience is there, everything can go wrong and everything can go right. So it's just exciting. It's live. So yeah.
Have you worked with anyone, whether it be television or movies, that gave you any advice or that you learned from while working with them?
Hmm. I'm sure so much, and so much I've like taken in and taken for my own. Um, I think I worked with Michael Weatherly on a show called Bull, and that was one of the first shows that I did. And he's like this big TV star, super famous, super well known, excellent actor. But he was so humble and so down to earth and so cool. And you know, he didn't say it to me. It wasn't like, I guess, advice, but I recognized that. And it's like, even though he's the number one on the show, the EP rock star, it was like he was just another grip just doing his job. It was so cool, so willing to be collaborative, no ego, no chip on his shoulder. And that I love. So
Mhm.
that's a little wisdom,
Right.
but it's not, I mean, sometimes you forget, so, but always try and circle back to like just being humble and just enjoying the work.
Right. Is there anyone that you would like to work with and haven't yet?
Oh, so many. You, Steven, first of all.
Hey, yeah, well, we gotta get something. Hey, I got some ideas for some
Yeah.
scripts actually, so who knows? Yeah, so
Okay. I
let's
love
make
it.
it happen.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I love Tom Hardy. I'd love to work with Tom Hardy, Viola Davis, Jake Gyllenhaal, Meryl Streep. I mean, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, Martin Short, Tim Allen, Kevin Costner. I could.
the list can go on. We're movie people. It's like there's so many
I
people.
mean, right now, I think someone that's so cool to me is Austin Butler. He's doing just like incredible work. I loved Elvis. I love Masters of Air. Um, he's so diverse. I remember seeing him years ago when I first went to New York in a play with Denzel Washington called um, oh crap, what was that play called? Anyways, I saw him on Broadway, and he was in this like little role, this little like maybe a few scenes in the play, but he was totally stole the show. And it was before he had all these big movie roles, and I don't know, I loved seeing his growth, and I'd love him to be a bro.
Nice. Enjoy the bro pack there.
Mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
so since you mentioned some Broadway and theaters, do you have a favorite show that you saw?
Theatrical,
Yeah, or on Broadway. Yeah,
or on Broadway.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Um, I recently saw. Okay, two answers to this. There's a goofy play that I love that I think everyone should see when they go to Broadway. And sometimes it's off Broadway, sometimes it's on Broadway. But it's a silly play called The Play That Goes Wrong. And have you
The
heard of
play
this
that
play?
what? What is it?
The play that goes wrong.
Oh no, I haven't heard of that one.
It is so funny. It's a physical comedy farce play, and it's like a play within a play. So these actors are trying to put on like their first show, and everything, they're forgetting their lines, they're losing their props, their people are fainting on set, the light cues are off, and it is so funny. And I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times, and it's just like such a fun, easy play, good for the family to go and watch and just enjoy the fruits of theater. Um, so that's like my goofy play, and then a play. Ooh, I think The Network, Bryan Cranston. It's no longer on, but he was so amazing, and it was just phenomenal.
Wow. Do you have any plans in the near future to do any more theater, or just stick with film and television right now?
Gosh, I hope so. I would love to do more theater. TV's been the bulk of my work lately, and I'm sure there will be opportunity to do theater, and I hope there is. Nothing on the docket right now, but
Right.
totally open for theater, and I hope to be doing it soon because it's great.
Is there any particular role in a theater play that you would like to portray?
There's a play. Gosh, I mean, there's a few. There's a play called Vincent and Brixton, and it's about the early life of Vincent Van Gogh. And I love this play. And I did it in college, and I would love to do it again because there's just so much to explore there. Playing like this artist who is like such a interesting person, and I got to research him a ton like 10 years ago. So that's something I'd like to revisit on a larger scale.
And how about, do you have any plans for either writing or directing anything of your own?
Ooh, gosh, good question. Producing. I do some producing. I haven't written anything, and you don't want to read anything that I write because it's just scary. But I mean, maybe one day I will improve my writing skills enough to be able to write something of quality. But I have a couple projects that I'm on the production side, producing specifically a TV series about Mormon missionaries in Kentucky that I'm really excited about, and it's very funny. It's like basically Schitt's Creek meets Book of Mormon, and it's a half-hour comedy series. So that's something I'm excited.
That sounds good. The Book of Mormon is hilarious.
Oh,
So,
another great play that everyone should go see if they're ever in New York.
yeah. Let's see. Um, I was gonna make a comment. You were saying about your writing, kind of like Sam on his computer before it got thrown in. Not a very good writer, right?
No, no, just throw it into the lake.
Yeah.
We don't need to read that.
Nah, not at all. As I also watched earlier today, Discontinued. So, how did you get?
Oh yeah, that was a great project.
Yeah, yeah, you played an interesting, full of yourself douche.
Douchebag.
I guess I could say, right? Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the standard operating procedure for Michael Bonini in terms of roles, a typecast per se. Um, yeah, that role I had actually worked with the director before, and Trevor Peckham, excellent guy, and I got an audition for it, read for it, did not think I booked it, and then they called me. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to work with you all. And then we were shooting that like during COVID. I think that was like the fall of 2020 we shot that. And we had like this bare bones crew of like 5 or 6 people. We were shooting in upstate New York and Connecticut. And yeah, it was just a great team, great production. And yeah, I'm glad you got to see it. I recommend it.
Yes, definitely. It is on. Anybody who wants to watch it is on Tubi. So, or just get the
Mm-hmm.
physical copy. That's what I. I mean, I saw it on Tubi, but it's always great to get collection. How about you? Are you a physical media collector?
Um, I don't think I have a DVD player,
Oh, okay.
but, but I should be. I feel like as a cinephile, that's a great thing to do and be a
Mhm.
DVD collector.
Yeah, of course. Like I always say too, if the internet goes out, and you can't stream. Well, you got all your movies to watch, so it's always good to have.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, easy peasy.
exactly. Do you have any funny behind the stories on either the Blacklist or any TV show that you were on? Any bloopers?
Hmm. Oh, lots of bloopers, lots of getting it wrong. I remember when I was shooting Bull, the director told me to wink on a line. He's like, say the line and wink. And I don't know, I was just like so just confused. I was like, do I wink and then say the line, or do I say the line and then wink? And he's like, just whatever comes natural. And then what came natural was me like double blinking trying to say the word, and we did like 2 or 3 takes. And he was like, you know what? Scrap the wink.
It's
We
like
do not need the wink.
it just looks like you got something stuck in your eye. It's not a wink. Just yeah.
Literally. I remember another day on that show, Michael Weatherly and I were shooting in a car, and we were shooting outside on this soundstage, like in front of a green screen. It was like a driving scene. And it was so hot out that, sorry, Michael, if I'm sharing too much information, but he literally took his pants off and was shooting the scene in his underwear. But like they were only shooting, through the windshield on us up here. So he's like in his boxers. I'm sitting there pretending to drive, talking about how my dad died, and he's like, very sad. And I'm like, you're in your underwear right now. Like this is ridiculous.
I can't take this
I'm like,
seriously.
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to tell you how my dad died of cancer in a car accident. He's like, I'm hot, rips him off, and we're like in suits. That's the other thing is like our up top we're like in suit and tie, and then he's just in his boxers. So that was a funny thing on that show. I was trying to think of Blacklist. No, it was New Amsterdam. I can't remember specifically, but those shows are always so fun because everyone's such a little family because they've been on the show for like 10 years, so they just have a good time. Um, but I will say, advice to like actors starting out is I think it was I shot New Amsterdam, and the scriptee of New Amsterdam was the director of my episode of The Blacklist. And so my role in The Blacklist was I play this like chief of police, and I look like I'm like 10 years old. But I did New Amsterdam, and the scriptee liked my work, and I don't even remember meeting on set, but she was like, oh, this guy's like a nice guy and a good actor. And she cast me in Blacklist just because we had worked together on this other show. And wasn't really right for the role. Like I said, like I was way too young. but it was just from being there and like not being a shithead that people will want to bring you on other stuff. So that's a kind of like serendipitous thing that happened, kind of behind the scenesy stuff.
Mhm.
Because I was totally like, I almost told my agent, I'm like, I'm not auditioning for this. Like, this guy's like chief of police. It says he's 40 years old, and I probably look like I'm 12 years old in that show. So that was a cool little behind the scenes thing.
Nice. Trying to think what else here. I guess we can go into CGI gear a little bit. Are you a fan of
Yeah,
Full Moon movies before getting cast as that role?
this is probably sacrilege, but prior to that, I had never heard of Full Moon, and
I've not even heard
so
of them.
I
Okay.
I hadn't even heard of them. I mean,
Puppet
I do
Master?
like.
Nothing. You never heard of Puppet
No,
Master?
I know, and I
Wow.
feel so bad for it because now I know all about Full Moon and I love Full Moon, but
Yes.
I guess I was living under a rock.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I had auditioned for a few of their other movies, didn't get them, but I didn't put two and two together. We get these auditions and we just do them, and then how it is. And
Right.
and so basically, I do this movie, and then I learn more about Charles, and he's just like the best guy. He's
Mhm.
super nice,
Oh yeah.
super cool. Um, and yeah, now I'm like, I love him. It's great.
Yeah.
So I was super excited to be a part of that project.
Yeah, I saw. I got an email out from the Full Moon Productions. I guess I forget what it's called. I have to look it up. But he's doing like another series, like set of movies. He's calling it. I can't remember what it is offhand. I have to look it up. But he's like doing
Uh,
like 8 movie, or like a whole bunch of movies at once, and he's like telling all the titles that they were and everything. And he just keeps
I'm
busy.
sure.
Like, and then he recently,
I'm
yeah, he
good.
recently. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something? I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I was just gonna say, and then him and Robin, who did the Evil Bong, of course, and Kendra, they recently got married, so it's like he's just been busy
Yeah.
and family and everything. But
Yeah. I mean, they pump out movies like it's their job. Because
actually,
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
It's like they kind of pump it out like it's their job. Well, that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
That's what they do.
So, so yeah, basically the plot of Bad CGI Gator, a group of, I guess, college kids are on their spring break. One of them is like a social media wannabe viral, whatever, video artist, and she comes up with this idea to throw off the computers into the lake there, and it turns an alligator into a CGI gator, just like it would any other. So,
I mean, that's the natural progression. No, that's of course what would happen.
so yeah. So you start exactly. It gets electrocuted. It wouldn't kill it. It would just change its
No,
physical
it would
form.
turns it into a giant man-eating monster.
Exactly. What was the line? Something like, "Oh, it's doing normal alligator stuff, floating around the dead bodies
Oh
of
yeah,
people."
floating through the air, circling the corpse of our best friend.
It's whatever. That's probably one of
Yeah,
the funniest lines there. So, but yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like
glad it made the trailer.
yeah, it made the trailer. That's right. So when did that start again? That was like a couple years ago because I think it just recently came out.
Yeah, no, they were so quick. We shot that in August or September of 2023.
Mhm.
I mean, it was like no time. We also shot it in 5 days. I mean,
Okay.
that like we shot the whole thing in 5 days, and they wanted to have it out by Halloween. They were
Mm.
like, "We're gonna pump this would be out next month," and then of course by Halloween they were like, "All right, we do not have a movie yet." Yeah, it was so quick, and yeah, I mean, it was probably the fastest turnaround of a movie that I've ever done.
Mm. Yeah, a couple months. Yeah, that would have been cool been out Halloween, but that is kind of well, just the 5 days of filming it. I mean, that's pretty quick. So, um, is that the first movie that you've done with like CGI having to act like something's in front of you that's not?
Um, yes, yeah, I think so because I've done other like monster movies, but it's been like it's been practical effects. So like they've actually had like a suit or an actor, a stunt actor like in it. So yeah, but here they had nothing, not even a tennis ball. It was just like, look over there. There's a man eating gator over there,
It's
and
just like just scream at
yeah,
the
exactly.
alligator.
It literally. I mean, it was the hardest for Ben, the guy who played Chad, because you know he had that whole fight or spoiler fight
It's all
scene.
right. We can talk about. I did say
Okay.
bad CGI Gator, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. He had the whole fight scene with
The sword.
the sword out in the front yard. And oh my god, we were dying laughing because this guy is like all over the place, like running around, like, and the director's just calling out, "He's by the car, he's on top of you, he's in the corner, he's biting out your leg." And oh, Ben's like, this guy, I mean, he works so hard. He is sweating like a crazy person. And
Mm.
you know, you don't just do one take. I mean, he was doing it for like an hour,
Oh yeah.
just like full on body workout, and we're all just like, ah! So that was funny and fun to see him do that.
Mhm. Yeah, I know certain scenes can go over and over. Gosh, like when
Oh yeah.
we did Never Back Down, the Fight Club movie in Orlando. We
Uh,
did from a 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning shoot, and the scene where they're running in the parking lot. I swear we probably ran back and forth like 20 or 30 times. It was ridiculous. Like that
oh
was
my gosh.
uh,
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. Like, it can be very physical,
yeah.
especially when you're doing stuff. Like, I was doing this one film and I was fighting like six dudes, and just the rehearsals. I
Mhm,
mean, because we're like going through it and learning it over and over again. It's a full body workout.
mhm. Have
Yeah.
you taken any, like, since we're talking about fight scenes and stuff, any martial arts class or stunt work?
Growing up, I did martial arts for years, for like a decade, and then I stopped doing it in college. And then I've done a few like stunt classes to prepare for certain roles, and then I've worked with like a handful of different choreographers to prepare for specific stuff. It's all very role specific, but you do like start to build a little toolkit of the things that you need for these fight scenes. So yeah, I've got like a good understanding. I can
Mhm.
move. Oh
Right.
yeah.
It's like blah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
wax on, wax off.
Exactly. Every morning I'm doing my yoga and I'm waxing on, waxing off.
Yeah. I remember what was it, the Jackie Chan one where he was like jacket. I'm like, okay, that was messed up.
Yeah, you're like, all right,
Apparently,
just let me find somebody.
yeah. Apparently, though, I heard they're doing like another Karate Kid movie, and they're going to have Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. I heard that they're going to be doing about
Oh,
this.
really?
Some like it's like not there's no plot, but they were looking for like a Chinese American to like who moved or something, and it's going to be about him or Outcast or something. I don't know, but so
Oh
they
my
were looking at.
gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, they were. I think they said they were looking at on the top of the list. There's like a Disney show, something American born or American Chinese or something, and he's a martial artist on that show. So like he's in the top listing for it, but who knows? Might be him or an unknown. You know how that works. So
Hmm.
because
That's so cool. I can't wait to see it.
what do you think? Like sometimes for roles, I mean, like if you were casting, sometimes do you think it might be good to find an unknown to like portray that character?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always good. I mean, there's so many actors, there's so much talent. It's always good to give young actors or new actors opportunities to shine, especially as we like evolve into like a new generation of actors. But then again, it's sometimes it can be a lot about money, and it's about who's going to put butts in seats, and who puts
Mhm.
butts in seats is the known actors.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
it's a bit of a catch-22. It's you know it's a thin line to walk, but obviously, I think it's always good to spread the wealth and seek new talent.
Yeah. Are you in SAG or are you just a SAG member
Yeah,
or not?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So how was it for you during the strike? I mean, thank God it's over now. So, but what was it like for you?
Yeah, it was slow. Obviously for everyone. I mean, there were different projects that had the waiver, which
Mhm,
basically it was like this SAG waiver that allowed you to move forward. And it was slow and it kind of sucked, but it was necessary. Um, the residuals for streaming were just pitiful,
mhm.
really non-existent. And also, what they were asking us to do in terms of AI was just not right either. So I'm
Right.
really proud of our union and what we've been able to accomplish. And now we have really good stuff moving forward, which is great.
Mhm. That's good. Hopefully, eventually, once. the stuff I've done comes out, I might try to get into SAG eventually. So, but
Yeah,
just
I would say, go ahead.
how many movies, or what's the? I mean, if you want to go in brief, like the process of that, just out of curiosity, for everyone, even anyone who might be interested.
In joining SAG.
Yeah. So.
So I don't know what it is for movies,
Mhm.
but because I joined because I had done TV shows, and I know if you
Oh,
do
okay.
if you do 3 SAG projects, you have to join SAG for the 4th, and that doesn't count for like extra work
Mhm.
or things like that. But I had done Bull, and then did like a right guard commercial that was SAG, and then I did like another commercial that was SAG. And so when I booked whatever movie or show I did after that, I had to join. But I think the misconception is like actors starting out are like, how do I get into SAG? Like I need to get into SAG because then I'll be an actor or I'll book more work. And I think that I couldn't be further from the truth.
Mhm.
Um, I think SAG is great. They protect their actors. It's a great union. I'm proud to be a part of it. But you don't want to pigeonhole yourself and get into SAG before maybe you're ready or before it's appropriate because, a lot of the shorts that I started out doing and a lot of the movies, they were non-union films. And once you join SAG, you can't do those anymore. Um, and circling back to what we talked about when we first got on is how important it is to get that experience and get those reps, whether it's a union or not. A union movie doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good movie or it's going to be a good set or it's going to be a good script. It just means
That's
a
true
union.
too. Yeah, there's some independent movies that
Um,
are excellent that deserve
I've,
more
I've done
credit.
some non-union indie movies that are way better than SAG movies that I've done. So you just don't want to pigeonhole yourself too soon. I mean, I know most people in Atlanta, because it's a right to work state, never join SAG because they don't have to. Um, and frankly, I think I might be blacklisting myself right now, but I think it's an um, individual decision, and I think whether you work in Atlanta or LA or New York or Vancouver or the Moon, it should really be your choice.
Mhm.
Um, and so, because what happens is I've seen people, they finally have enough points or whatever to join SAG, they join SAG, and then they don't work for 5 years because you're competing at a much higher level now. You're competing with Tom Hanks, you know.
Right.
Um, and there's so I hope I'm not beating a dead horse with this, but that's the idea behind it. I think.
Well, that makes sense though. If you're stuck in SAG, and well, I mean, I didn't mean it like that. In SAG with, like you said,
No,
competition.
yeah,
So yeah.
no, exactly, and there are so many benefits to being in SAG. Like I'm not like anti-SAG at all.
Mhm.
Like I said, I love SAG, and they get us great stuff and great contracts, and they protect us. But the other side of the coin is if you join before you're ready, it might be tough to work for a little while. So
It's a
food for
process.
thought.
Yeah, that's good
It's a
advice.
process, and I've seen people join SAG and then leave SAG, because it's just or join SAG and then go FICOR, which is another branch of SAG where you can do non-union work
Mhm.
and union work, or people who stay SAG eligible. It's also expensive. It's like $3,000 or $4,000 just to
Mm.
get your card,
Uh,
plus the dues.
mm.
Um, so there are pros and cons. And if you have any questions, email me. Anyone watching?
All right. Yeah, but once the show's on, I'll put any, if you want to put any Instagram or email or any information out, I'll share that out. So
Yeah,
social
yeah, yeah,
whatever. But yeah, that's good advice. So, and that was
yeah,
going to be one of my questions and stuff too, with advice for other actors. And there we go. So we'll just stick with the SAG there and shorts and
yeah,
perfect. So,
yeah.
let's see.
Absolutely.
What else about CGI Gator was interesting? That was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was only what
Yeah, it's a
52
good time.
minutes or whatever. It was kind of short,
You can
but
watch it on your lunch break.
exactly. You get a 1 hour lunch break. You can go to Tubi and check it out. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
or I mean, wherever it has. I don't think it's on Tubi yet, but
Yeah.
um, Have you seen? Have you heard about Tubi though? That supposedly they're not going to be doing as much independent stuff on there. I think they might be changing and starting to do mainstream. So I
Oh,
don't
interesting. I
know.
didn't hear that.
So I hope not. I mean, there's a lot of good movies out there. You know, it has such a wide selection. It's like, don't turn it into Netflix. You know, it's like that's its own
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. I mean,
So,
I didn't even. Did they make their own content? I thought they bought all their content. Do they
so
make
there are
their own stuff too?
well, suppose there is some Tubi originals on there. Like it'll say a Tubi original, but I kind of wonder about that because there was one.
It doesn't always mean they made it. I think it means they bought it, but
Maybe they
sometimes it could
shared
mean they
it.
make it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I know what was it? They did like a Terror Train, like a newer version of that, and there's a couple of them on there, and I think that says to be original. But yeah, I
Yeah,
guess that could be the case, whether they bought it or it's original through them, or I don't know.
yeah.
So kind of like a Netflix original series, or I don't know,
Right, 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 right.
but
So
yeah,
yeah, I mean that's interesting. I don't know. I mean I think that we're in an age of streaming and it's great because there's so much opportunity for content and so much opportunity for actors and so much opportunity for viewers to enjoy anything they could want to watch. So I think it's great. Streamers is great as long as the contracts are good.
yeah. Um, so what do you like to watch in your spare time? Is there anything that you like to check out? Since I mean, you don't have a DVD player, but I mean, you know.
I'm a big TV series guy. I mean, I'm a huge Succession fan. I love Yellowstone.
Mhm.
I'm currently watching a show that came out a few years ago called The Night Manager with um, uh, Hugh Laurie, and Tom Hiddleston.
Hmm.
Have you heard of the show?
I think I heard of it because that sounds familiar with the two of them in the show. Had forgot the name till you said, but I remember they did a show together. He
Yeah,
also
yeah,
he was House
it's really
also,
good.
and the show House was
Yeah,
on.
gosh, House. He was so amazing. Have you ever seen his audition tape for that?
I think I did
Oh,
on
it's
Tubi.
so good. It's so good. Yeah, his audition tape, and yeah, so I'm watching that show, which I really like. I love any like I love a crime drama. I love a family drama. Um, I like comedy too, but I'm picky with my comedy.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, those are I think my favorite show of all time is Breaking Bad. No
That was a
surprise,
great. Yeah.
crime and family. I mean, my two favorites.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, that's standard. I mean, I'm a huge Bryan Cranston fan. Ozark, I love Ozark. I love Jason Bateman's. I think he's like my spirit animal. He's like my goals. Like that's what I would love to be. Like I
Mhm.
love his like dry straight man comedy. I find myself playing the straight man a lot, which always trying to manage, and that's kind of the character I play in the Mormon series that I'm developing right now. Yeah, what shows do you like?
Well, I actually just watched. They just premiered last night. The new season of Ghost came on, where she sees Ghost, the Viking,
Uh,
and the guy with hair. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It's with
uh,
Rose. I forget her last name, but she was in iZombie. If you had seen that,
uh,
um,
uh.
but
Oh,
yeah,
I gotta check it out.
but yeah, there. It's funny because the term that they came up with, which the one of the more recent ghosts, Trevor, he thinks it's hilarious. Like whenever they're no longer on the earth, they get sucked off. So they like get the saying like, "Oh, I wanted to be sucked off." So it's like real funny, and he's like making fun of it. and,
I
and
love it. I love it. That's so funny.
And then when the husband in one episode went to hell, she goes, "He went down on me," and Trevor's just like, "That's the term they want to use." Like he's just laughing, like all this stuff, and the Viking. And then we got a flower hippie. Her name's Flower. She's a hippie that was mauled by a bear, and it's just really funny. So it's
I
based on
love it, man. That's
the UK series. So I started watching
okay.
some. I started watching some of the UK ones. You notice how like some of the UK shows that are Americans based off isn't as good. Like I mean, it's still good, but like the original UK ones. But they have such short seasons, like 6 episodes is a season for like a show.
I know. I know. I know. They need Hollywood money.
But
They get like the 10 episodes, 20 episodes.
yeah, I mean even 10, but it's like 6 episodes. Wow, that was quick. I
I know,
really,
and those miniseries go too fast.
yeah, I really enjoyed. Did you ever see that show Being Human with the vampire, werewolf, and ghosts that were living together?
No, I didn't see that one.
That's a good one. And the original UK one is, I believe it's unless they took it off, it was on Tubi. Um, But it's funny because the werewolf, Annie, the ghost, she was like making all this tea, and he's like, "It's driving me nuts." She's like, "You can't even. There's like tea everywhere. It's driving me insane. You can't even touch it." And she's like, "You don't drink." She's like,
All right.
"Sorry." She's like,
I
"Sorry."
need a I need a list from you because these sound hilarious.
I have watched
I
so
like a
much.
list of shows.
It's hard to keep up with everything. I mean, and I'm even behind on shows. And then there's like new shows that are coming out I want to watch. It's like I don't even know what. There's just never enough time to watch everything. Like there's so much I'd
Yeah,
like.
you can't keep up with it all.
So I still haven't watched the new either of because I'm rewatching The Walking Dead because I didn't watch the last season, so I'm in season 6 now, rewatching it. But I do want to watch Daryl Dixon and Dead City or whatever with Negan. So, and then they're coming back. They're coming back with Andrew Lincoln and Michonne called Those Who Lived. So it's like I'm behind.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah, now that
you've got a backlot. Yeah, you've got a lot to watch.
So much. And then of course, like, I watch whatever guest comes on, I watch your movies and whoever else, and it's just like so much. My brain's like overloaded with movies and TV
yeah, really
shows.
Not enough time.
Nah. I'm trying to think what else I watched recently. I'm also I'm a big Wild Eye fan too. I watched the other night they were short, like within an hour and 10 minutes of the Meat Hook Massacre. So there's
I haven't seen that.
That's like I think, do I have the DVD here? I don't know how the reflection is on here with the background, but let me see. I can show you. It's kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except it's Meat Hook Massacre, and they even have like a starting of it where they do like the narration and the words and everything across, like saying, "Oh, and such," talking about what's going on. Let's see how the reflection is, but
oh, cool! Yeah,
that's one of them. This is the first hunt.
Okay.
But,
I'm gonna take you with me.
Oh, am I going to go for a walk?
Yeah, we're going for a little walk here at the. I'm actually at the pool right now. Well, kind of. Let me show you the ocean.
Yes, getting a little scenery there, people.
Yep, sorry, everybody. Michael's on the move.
It's like, let's walk with you, talk with you,
Yeah, it's fine. It's casual, right? Everyone's invited to the beach.
That's how it is. Let's go party. There's a Will Smith song, "Party in the City," where he is on all night on the beach to the break of dawn.
Yeah, literally. So funny. Cool. We'll have to watch all of those.
So yeah, I got to do a review. Rob, who runs the company Wild Eye, he went ahead and he sent them to me, so I'm going to go ahead and review them. So, but
nice.
Yeah, I got so many. I got
online article reviews too.
No, I don't write them. I just do a YouTube review.
Just YouTube review? Okay.
Yeah. So, I probably could do some writing if I wanted.
Yeah, I definitely could.
Yeah, I used to. I should get back to writing. I have some ideas for scripts, but like when I was in school, I won the Young Authors Conference, writing stories, and in 5th grade, I can make it more adult now and stuff. But I started writing a story called "My Best Friend Is an Alien," and I wrote it the whole summer. Handwritten, it was like about 180 pages typed. It was like 90 pages typed, I think. So
okay.
But yeah, I got ideas here and there, and I won't tell you on screen here. I'll talk to you later, but I got some cool ideas for a couple of movies and stuff, and who knows, see what you think. I'd
love to read your scripts.
So, I got to write it, but eventually, but I can.
These ideas, yeah.
So I can tell you the ideas. I just don't. I come up with so many ideas, but it's like, I talk about on the show too much. Let's just keep it to myself there, just in case. That would be my luck.
You don't want to be spilling all your good beans.
So yeah, I talked to it with someone that I'm worked on their movies and going to be working on movies. Like maybe we could co-write the script together. So we might make it happen. She said it was a badass idea. So we'll see.
I love it. That's awesome. I love that.
So yeah, I thought I was doing one movie and going back in May, but they are going to film both movies simultaneously. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. It's like, God, right. I'm going to have to edit the podcast simultaneously. But So yeah, we'll be doing a cheerleader elimination and axe grinder 7. So that'll be fun.
Oh, oh
So
boy,
I'm ready.
that's
2 weeks.
wild.
Actually, less than 2 weeks is out. So my co-host, well, see what's going on with my co-host, but he'll be taking over the show while I'm gone, and yeah, so
Good, good. That's so fun.
it's like I want to keep busy this year. I want to try to do more. So it's
That'll be
whoever
good. You
wants
should.
whoever wants me, I'll be out there. Whatever, I don't care. so
Yeah, hell yeah.
so I enjoy what I do. So, is there anything that you have coming up that you can talk about, or is it all under wraps?
Yeah, yeah. No, so I just had a movie trailer drop yesterday for a new Paramount movie that I'm in, so I'm allowed to talk about it now. It's called Snack Shack. It stars Gabriel LaBelle from Fablemans, Connor Sherry, Terminalist, David Costabile. Um, and yeah, so that is a 90s coming of age comedy set in Nebraska City. It's coming to theaters March 15th. So about a month from today. So everyone go out and see it. Called Snack Shack. It's super funny, raunchy. It's like a super bad old school comedy, and it's a really fun. I play Randy Carmichael, who is this douchey town bully who basically terrorizes these kids throughout the whole movie. And yeah, we shot that for about a month and a half in Nebraska City back in the fall of 2022. So we're all really excited that it's finally out and hitting theaters.
Do you have a favorite location that you filmed any of your projects?
Um, let me. I haven't shot like in like the Caribbean yet, so that would be lovely. I did shoot a film out in. It was near Tallahassee, and it was in like February. And it's not super warm in Tallahassee in February, but it's warmer than New York, so that was nice. It was very beautiful. Like some of the scenery, like out in the country part, is beautiful. I think, and so that was nice. But I've been all over the country. I mean, I think I've probably shot in like 25 of the 50 states. Um, Nothing super lovely rings a bell. I always like shooting in New York because it means I don't have to travel to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Right.
So anytime they're shooting in New York, I'm like, yes, this is good. But yeah.
Any others since you did Bad CGI Gator? Any other creature features that you'd like to be a part of?
Oh yeah, I would love to be. I mean, I did a short once called Midnight Screams. I don't know if you were able to see that one, which is a really cool creature feature. Um, it was a film for FSU for their drama school, and they just did an incredible job. I had this prosthetic on my chest where like the creature had like these 3 claws and it claws me, and they had these tubes go under my wound and it sprayed blood like out of the wound, which was so cool. But yeah, I don't have a creature feature on the docket, but I would totally do it again. I love them. They're so much fun. I love like the special effects. I love the practical effects. Um, a good horror scream always satisfies. So yeah, I would totally do another one.
Since you've done that with like the practical effects and everything, did you ever have any like issues with like the fake blood or anything in your face, or hard to get off, or any incidents like that?
Yeah, sometimes it takes like a week or so to come, get all the red off. The worst one was during Midnight Screams. We were shooting in the middle of like January. It was so cold and we were drenched in blood. And there's different recipes for fake blood, and what they used was molasses. So it was just awful. It was so sticky, and it like hardened to you, and it was so cold. We were covered in it, and I literally felt like I was like had been tarred and feathered because I was just covered in molasses at like 2 in the morning on like a 30-degree night. So yeah, that was the toughest blood experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I also got shot in the face with a blood cannon that night. like a literally CO2 blood cannon, and they caught it in like super slow motion into my face, just like getting just blood all over.
Yeah, I had when I get you can see it in the trailer, but in Camp Blood 9, I get stabbed in the head, my brain all exposed and everything.
Oh
And,
no!
and then I had like the blood dripping down, and it was kind of like not working at first. So that they had to pour it on again, and then it was like getting in my eye, and I had to have the makeup artist. She guided me back to wash it out and everything. And I'm like, this is fun, but it was all right. I don't mind being covered in blood.
In the eyes is the worst.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it's like you're my seeing eye person. Thank you.
Yeah, literally. That's always tough.
You ever go out in public after a scene with like still blood on or in makeup, and people look at you like,
oh yeah. I was staying at a hotel in California for this movie, and I'd been staying there for weeks. And then one day, they had the makeup artist come to the hotel to do my makeup before I went to set, and it was like after I'd been like beat up or something, and I was like bruised and ragged, and like they had dirt all over me. And the concierge literally asked me if like who I was and what I was doing there, because he didn't recognize me because I was like, oh, it's me, it's Michael. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I didn't realize. And I was like, yeah, they did my makeup here. We were like, oh, okay, like look great. But they thought I was like this homeless, beat up.
I say some homeless one of those bum fights coming in after.
No, literally, they thought exactly. So it was very funny. I knew the makeup artist did a great job.
Nice. Are there any conventions that you plan on going to, or have you ever been to any conventions?
No, I haven't done that yet, but I would love to. That's definitely something that's on my bucket list. Which ones do you recommend?
There's Spookala. That's going to be in Tampa. Orlando does a good one. Spooky Empire. I know both the promoters and everything. Days of the Dead is a good one. Horror Hound is a good one. Texas Frightmare is a good one.
Fine.
I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch more too, but yeah, those are like main horror ones.
Yeah.
But.
So, Steven, I will say my computer's on 2%, so I want.
And I was actually about to say it's been over an hour. One last question that I always ask everybody: is there any fun or interesting facts about yourself fans may not know about?
Ooh, I'm a serial killer. No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
And he confessed on film.
Confessed. We have it. I'm an avid tennis player. I love to play tennis. I think it's like one of my favorite sports to play and do. I try and play, as often as I can, every day as I can, and something fun thing that some people may not know.
All right. I guess this is about to die. It's been the time. It's been a good time. Thanks for joining me. And everybody, there were some people watching. I guess they didn't ask me things, but I know they'll check out the replay. So, and I'll put any socials or anything you want people to find it. So,
yeah, please do.
And we'll keep in touch. All right. Yeah, have a good one.
Well, Steven, it's been so great. Thank you for having me.
All right. And thanks for joining. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
All right. And this Saturday, I did say in the beginning of this, or tomorrow, we do have Kansas bowling coming on from Murder Size. So I'll see you then. Have a good one.